Now the thing, now my phone turned off with my intro. That's good.
Yeah,
Hello, I am Sarah Meredith. I'm the director of Radical Manifesting Limited. The purpose of this podcast is to inspire and motivate people to live their dreams. Welcome, Natalie. It's lovely to meet you.
Oh, it's a pleasure to be here. I love it. Radical manifesting. And the work you're doing is great, Sarah.
Thank you. So how are you today, Natalie?
Yeah, I am. I'm good. I'm very good. I'm in a kind of a period of listening to my body quite deeply, and yeah, really feeling the call to rest in February. I don't know about you, but I felt that there was a lot of energy in January. I felt like I was kind of making some decisions actually that were based on my old life rather than where I'm going with my work
Mm-hmm.
at 22. So I think the best way I could describe it was it was a whirlwind. It felt like a whirlwind January. So I'm just inviting in some rest, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, because I don't know if you believe in Mercury retrograde, but I know it was Mercury retrograde and it was also Venus retrograde, which I didn't know.
Ooh.
Venus retrograde. I don't know. I don't know much about the dates, but I think it might have only just finished, but it's still carrying on. But it's like we've got and also because Mercury retrograde, because it's in Cancer too, it's making people more weepy, and I know that for myself.
It's fascinating. Yeah, I had this always very open to talk heart on sleeve stuff. And on Friday, I just burst into tears at 1:30 in the
Wow.
afternoon and went up to my soulmate, Freedy, and I just said, "Can you hug me? I need a hug." Like I asked for a hug.
Oh,
And I was just, so maybe, I mean, I don't know much about the retrograde or astrology, but what I like about the galaxies and the cosmic energy and cosmos is I like learning about it. And there's so
yeah.
much obviously to learn. And if it feels right intuitively, then yeah, I can apply it to the day or my life or what's going on. I think it's nice to have an awareness
Yes.
and
But I
develop
also think
that.
as well, something I've learned with retrograde is it like people. I mean, retrograde isn't necessarily a nice experience all the time, but I think it shows the truth. I think people think that it's
Oh, it's fascinating. Yeah, I love that, showing the truth.
yes,
Yeah, I'm shivering as you're saying that. Yeah, and this is weaving into to what I've just been writing about. I was saying to you that I was connecting with I call them light letters rather than newsletters,
yeah.
with my audience, and just saying that I'd gone down a rabbit hole for 3 weeks,
Wow.
making some decisions. After the summit that I did with you, something came in and. Yeah, I went into a bit of a rabbit hole, is what I call it, when you just get a little bit sucked into decisions. And then I very quickly got myself out, but maybe it's all to do with the retrograde.
I can't remember exactly when retrograde started, but it's meant to be for three. It was meant to be for 3 weeks, and it's ending on the 3rd. So
Ah, well, I'm
I think
out.
it was around the 18th, possibly. I can't remember the exact date, but
Oh, that would be strange if I'd made the decision on that day. But no, I'm coming out. Yeah, I'm coming out of that. I don't know much about Venus retrograde either, but in
Venus retrograde's more about relationships. I know Mercury's about communication, and also that's why tech issues can happen. So I
yeah.
find it quite amusing when I don't. I'm not meaning this to belittle anyone by people that don't understand retrograde or don't know about retrograde, and then things happen. I'm thinking, oh, I know why that happened, you know?
Yeah, this makes even more sense because I did a chatathon. I did my first ever light worker chatathon on Instagram. So I spoke for 2.5 hours
Wow.
continuously. I did break it into a couple of parts because I realized that I needed to go to the toilet.
Yes, of course.
This, you
That
know,
human experience.
these are the practical things. But yeah, and my first guest, we had such bad connection issues. We had
Yes.
such bad connections. So, but it was a great interview once it got going. But in my work, Sarah, all of this, like this conversation we're having now, and we're going to talk a little bit about divine timing, but these are all like, it's just affirmatives that
Yes.
if you don't believe it, it just gives a little bit more information, a little bit more education around exploring, into these subjects a bit more, to trust them, as you said,
Yeah.
you know.
Because I know with Mars retrograde, it's more about people showing their true colors. And I found during that time, literally, people I thought were my friends showed their true colors.
Mm-hmm.
And we've
Yeah.
got a Mars retrograde happening at the end of the year, so that'll be fun. Stay
Wow.
away from everybody. That's my motto.
But that's again going into that divine timing, because I mean, if I'm working so much more. So I turned 40. Well, I'm in my 42nd year now. So 2 years ago, 1.5 years ago, and I think you get to that point and you're just like, in actual fact, I do need to trust more, because life is
Yeah.
very, very short.
Yes.
And but I started working more with my cycles, with the cycles of the moon, and I was coming more into talking about. At that point, I had a school which was called Cosmic Soul School, and the word Cosmic Soul came to me when I was in Bali. Yeah, I was in Bali. So
Wow.
I like that as a name for a business. I love Cosmic Soul. But it only then appeared, and I realized why, that name was coming to me again through divine timing, as in, okay, I'm a light worker. I am light. It's taken me a long
Yes.
time to say these things outwardly. But that's what my purpose is. People are attracted to my light.
Hmm. Yes.
My work actually a lot of the time is having chats like this, but how can that be work? That's the kind of the 3D chat. But of course it's work, because it's about communication, education, growth. um yeah, so I was really starting to work when I turned 40 with cycles, and obviously the divine timing of when these retrogrades happen, it must serve a purpose, a deeper purpose for us humans living here in, on a planet, because that's what we're doing, right?
Yes.
Always,
I know.
always.
Why don't we ever go retrograde then? That's a question for another day.
Yeah, maybe you need what's his name? That incredible scientist. I really like him. That talks loads about the stars and the planets. Can't remember his name. Um,
Oh, is it Professor? Um,
Cox, is it?
yes.
Yeah, yeah. Bring him in, Sarah. But yeah,
Yeah. I think
there
everybody
was
would turn up to
a
that, but that's a different conversation again. I don't think he really believes it in the sense of we believe it, but
but this kind of goes deeper into, the beliefs are a big conversation, aren't they?
yes.
You know, it blew my mind actually. I trained as an NLP practitioner, and it was really mainly a very big point of change in my life. I was 30, and it really blew my mind to realize, that so many people have different belief systems. We all
Hmm.
live in our own map of the world, and it really helps us to understand how to get on better with people.
Yeah, definitely. I also think it's okay not to be around people that you're not aligned with too.
Yeah, that's so important. Yeah, so important. Yeah, and also learning that it's okay to let go of them, quickly, if they're not right for you, if you're not in that right alignment. Yeah, totally.
It's a bit of a hard lesson though, isn't it? Because sometimes I found it can tend to happen quite drastically, doesn't it? It's like your friends 1 minute and then all of a sudden you just stop speaking to each other.
Yeah, and I can, not so much with friends, but God, yeah, I mean, it's with this situation that I had, that I said yes to, and then 3 weeks later, I messaged the person, and I said, look, this isn't right for me. They wanted to talk to me, but I didn't want to do it via telephone. I'd sent a
Yeah.
nice message. It felt right for me. I was closing it. And yeah, it was only in 3 weeks. I didn't even know this person very well. But yeah, is tough because why is that?
This is why I don't agree with pushing things. You know, like I do agree. Well, I don't know. I think sometimes the most honest thing you can do is A, be true to yourself, and B, do what feels right. I think very often in society and even in the online space, they're like, push your comfort zone. If you're not pushing your comfort zone, if you're not changing, but it depends if it feels right or not. Like for me, with my human design, I'm a generator. So mine's more about, for me, like more if it feels right. And if it doesn't feel right, it will feel drastically wrong. And if
Wow.
I try and push it,
Yeah.
it's just going to drain me.
Yeah, I did my human design, so I am like you, a generator,
Yeah.
which I think 70% of the population are generators. Yeah, and it was fascinating for me to explore this a little bit more because exactly what you're saying, for a good 30 years of my life, I was pushing
Mhm.
uphill. Because that's what we can do as generators, can't we? We can go, 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 and then we collapse,
Yes.
and people can take advantage and all those kind of things. But yeah, I love what you're saying because then I learned and read more about it, and it's like, in actual fact, to be a very within your power as a generator to make the most out of life and opportunities is actually to sit and allow them to come to you.
Yeah, because that's what I think, because we're taught, aren't we? Even in the online space, the coaching space, we need to find our ideal client. We need to find, so it's not that we need to allow it to come in. It's, we need, I'm not saying we don't have to take action because we do, but I think, again, like you were saying about divine timing, and it's also what feels aligned. It's about taking action that feels aligned.
Yeah.
Because I think if it feels forced, I mean, don't get me wrong, you might feel nervous about something, still do it and love it. But there's a difference between being nervous or a bit scared and being terrified and feel like you don't want to do it.
Yeah, exactly. Feeling that pressure, as you said, like
Yeah.
the pressure. Yeah, taking the pressure off. And kind of going back a little bit to what I was talking about, the nature and the working with the cycles of nature, my own cycles. Um, and I was writing my first book, and I was really, really being taught to trust divine timing.
Hmm.
And that was just helping me to understand that I can take all pressure off. I can write when I want to write, when I'm being called to write. I love that saying now, being called to it. It's like attraction,
Yes.
but I think it's a higher level of using your intuitive, voice and listening to the intuition. Am I being called to that today? Am I being called to go and sit out in the garden and do nothing today? Because
Yeah, and I think you need to listen to those too, don't you? It's not as straightforward as I'm only going to listen to the work stuff, because I think especially with the generator, and for me having ADHD, I want to be like, go, go, go. If I'm not doing something, I feel like I'm not doing anything. You know what I mean? I'm not good enough if I'm not doing something. But then, I think the hardest lesson in a way is learning to not do anything, learning to just go for a walk or to whatever you feel called to do.
Yeah. Yeah, and swapping and changing, Sarah. I don't know whether you found this as well, but actually, I call it a stop and drop. So, in actual fact, stop what you're doing and go to that call, answer that call. So, if it is work, you can go and walk on the beach, come back to work, or take the work to the beach.
Mm.
Do a yoga pose if your back's aching. This was a big thing for me while I was writing. My wrists were aching, all sorts of things. And actually stopping and honoring the body. Yeah, so we obviously have a lot in common with our processing, and I know I am enough at all times. But what I'm kind of entering into now is sitting in a space in between so that I can really allow the potency of my work to come through.
Yeah, I think I'm in the space in between, because I've realized in a way I don't particularly enjoy coaching that much. I mean, it's not, I don't think it's as familiar as I thought it was. And I've tried to push it as it, because I think it seems to be in the online space broadly. It's not to say anything against anyone, but it's either you're a coach or you're a network marketer. And if you're not either of those, you feel like you're in those boxes. And I've realized that I'm probably not in either of those boxes.
Yeah, well, maybe not in any box, hopefully.
Oh no, I don't think I am in any box.
Maybe sometimes it's
I
quite
mean, some
nice.
people like to be in a box, don't they? But
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
mean,
I don't mind like the knowing I've got ADHD, because I know that's how that's how my brain works, so I can deal with that. But that doesn't mean I want to be in a box, as in just a box.
well, yeah, that's where that comes,
I
I
know
suppose.
some people like boxes, don't they? But that's
Yeah, it makes us maybe feel comfortable. But I think this is kind of where we're going in this conversation. I'm loving it, is that in actual fact, it's okay one day to be in the box and then, to come out and explore a little bit more. But I like what you say about the ADHD as well, because that's obviously given you, well, it's given you like guidelines, it's given
yes.
instructions, it's given you, again, going back to, what I'm so passionate about is for humans to educate themselves more.
Mm,
Because, okay, you may accept I have ADHD, but you are not ADHD.
no.
You're not defined by, what it is, because once you've learned more, you can apply new principles for yourself. Because I'm sure, I mean, I don't know, I haven't looked at studies, but I'm sure one ADHD person to another, you're going to have similarities, but differences as well.
Yeah. Like some people are more well, I've not looked into it like broadly, but like everyone's different, and I find that I can either hyper focus for a while, but then I know I need to retreat too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because if I don't, I'll end up burning out. And if I burn out, then I'm not going to, you know what I mean? I'm better doing one thing a day well than try and
Yeah.
do 10 things a day and
Yeah.
burn out.
Yeah. 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 And this is what we learn about ourselves. I mean, I've not been diagnosed with ADHD, but I definitely have a lot of energy. People
Yes.
cannot believe my energy when they meet me. Wow, you do so much, Natalie. But that's why the generator, so the human design, it was a friend of mine called Samantha Lotus. She said, "Do you know what your human design is?" And I said, "No." And when I looked into it, it has really, really helped me, especially as a soulpreneur, because, a soulpreneur works as an entrepreneur does. It's the same. We're
Yeah.
working for ourselves, but it's very much staying in alignment, as you use that word, with our soul and our soul's purpose. And we earn money, but the earning of the money isn't the main driver. So yeah, finding that as well as as my human design was really helpful. And I don't know what yours is. I can't remember what they call it, but my
The
kind of,
profile.
yeah, it's frustration.
Mine's, I think mine's frustration too. That's if you're not in alignment, you're frustrated. And if
Yes.
you are in alignment, you've got satisfaction.
Yeah.
But do you
And
know what your actual profile is? Because mine's 4/6, and I don't know what that means.
not off by heart. You don't know what that means. No, no, no. I would love to develop more, maybe a podcast interview with somebody, or maybe a series, because there's so much, again, there's so much to learn about this. I went to a friend's house to give them a soul activation session.
Yeah.
And she is learning a form of Japanese astrology.
Wow.
Yeah, and she was showing me all the charts, and she's going to do my chart at some point. Again, for her, it's just, she's got two young children. She could see the difference in them. She could see how the children were triggering her and her husband in different ways. And I love that when a human is going into that amount of detail to understand how to better not only themselves, but their family, the environment, how they're communicating. I think it would make the world a more peaceful place if every individual was taking at least some action in that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so there's so much, isn't there? There's so
I
much.
know we could spend another 2 hours talking about well, probably 2 days and plus. Love human design. Because I think once you know your human design, you kind of know how you work. Because I think, unfortunately, society at large is that sort of, do you know what I mean? Children go to school, they learn to do stuff, they go to work, but it's kind of still that cookie cutter, even if they do other things.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't really like the school system anyway, purely on that one, because I think they don't have like a life advisor there. They have a careers advisor. So it's almost like from the off.
Yeah. All
You know
about
what I mean? From the beginning, it's straight away, right, what are you going to do when you grow up? It's like, grow up? It's like, well, what else am I supposed to do?
or not, as the case may be.
Yeah,
I have
I
a
know.
41-year-old child. You know, another reason why
Yeah,
people love hanging around with me, because the inner child has been kept alive. You know, she's been healed and the traumas, and I've understood all those things, but
yeah.
she comes out, you know. I mean, I'm serious as well, and I'm all sorts of things, you know, but to be able to move freely between them all. I'm liking what you're saying here as well, because there was a little bit of a joke between me and my soulmate. So we said, through lockdown, if I had children, which I don't, not in physical form anyway,
Yeah,
that I would have written a syllabus within that time.
yeah.
So this is another kind of generator thing to, you know, like, you'll understand that. But what an opportunity, because everyone was obviously homeschooling and learning about their children, learning about education, appreciating teachers more, and parts of the system, if not all of it. I think kind of obviously having some format of the day is, you know, is important. Yeah, so there was a little bit of a joke there, and a lot of people, because I live in the south of Spain, so a
Oh
lot of people
wow. Because I did
online.
wonder, because you said to me, didn't you, like, no, before the summit, you said I'm on the beach. And I was thinking, is she crazy? You know what I mean? I was thinking, is she crazy going on the beach?
Loco, loco.
Because
So
I thought you might have been from Australia or something, but then I heard your UK accent. I was like, what? You go for a walk on a beach in England? What?
to blow
Whereas,
the old cobwebs off, Sarah. No, the so people are coming from all over Europe,
wow.
all over the world, to what's called a forest school. Have you heard of them?
Yes, I've heard of them.
Yeah, and I actually pondered upon the forest school last week on a dog walk. Oh, it looks beautiful. So I think
Oh,
there are other opportunities out there, Sarah, but they're not mainstream yet, but they will be. They'll, you know, even this word mainstream, I mean, why do we need that?
why do we need the word mainstream?
Yeah,
I
no.
know. Like, I have got a daughter, and she's about, at some point she's going to be like, I have home educated because I didn't want her in the system the way it is. But she wanted to go to school, but we finally found a school that's actually a forest school that's willing, able to help her needs, etc. And
Good.
it's amazing. I actually couldn't have picked it better if I tried, because, but yeah, why does that have to be called a special school? Why can't it just be?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
It's because
Yeah.
we've still got these really old-fashioned. I say we, I meant as in society, but these still very old beliefs that children go, because that's where it started, wasn't it? Children went to workhouses. No, went to school so their parents could go to workhouses, could go to work, and it was so basically children weren't working, because
Yeah.
before that children were working.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I think I mean, it's such a fascinating topic, and I was a teacher for a while, but a singing teacher, and I worked within the system. So I was working in the private system and had my own vocal school as well.
Yeah,
And I suppose what was just coming up as I was listening to you, I'm so glad that your daughter's found like her
yeah,
tribe already.
yeah.
And that you are a mother who has listened to your instinct. You've followed out of the mainstream. You've kind of gone and found
Well,
your
I
own.
mean, initially I wanted her to go to a Steiner education. Do you know Steiner
I do,
education?
yeah. Yeah,
But
there's
I
one.
found I do like Steiner, but also I had a really bad vibe regarding it. You just know. And she didn't want to go to school at that point. So I was like, oh, if you don't want to go to school, what about the option of home educating you? And so, like, and then she got to a point where she was like, Mummy, I don't want to be at home anymore. well, you're not that home education is just home, but especially with lockdown and everything, it's just been like the last 2 years hasn't been great for anyone, really, has it?
No, no, not at
Well, I
all.
mean, it has been good in some ways. I'm not saying, oh, it's totally like, let's ignore the last 2 years, but
I know it's been well. I definitely enjoyed my generator motivator through that, because I did well, I wrote a book and did loads of writing, and
wow.
lots of things happen. But I think the point for me is on this, like, this topic is, I they're saying each to their own,
Hmm.
in the sense that we do need to, in order to create balance, I believe, and this is a belief of mine, that we need to respect another's decision. So
Yeah.
if one parent, the system, the traditional system is right for them.
Yeah, exactly. It wouldn't be like, oh, how dare, I
Yeah,
mean, sometimes you think, oh, you're a bit, a bit nuts, but it is each their own, because you can't, especially regarding the school system, because it's fit for purpose for some people. I didn't believe from the off that it was the right system for my daughter. So like I've spent the last 4 years almost wanting to keep her out of it, but then she decided she wanted to go. But
yeah.
thankfully we have found somewhere that looks more suitable. I mean, it's literally called the outdoor school. So it's
Oh,
like all of it's outdoors.
oh, that's nice. Yeah, because my friend's daughter went, and I said, "What do they do? What do they do at the forest school? It sounds so fascinating." And she said, "Well, they forage." And I was
Yeah.
like, "Wow!" But they must do other things as well. I mean,
I think they tend to do it a little bit more holistically, in the sense of, right, say for example, Mia wanted to do a project there about trees. Through that she'd be learning English, she'd be learning how to calculate how many trees, she'd be learning how to draw. So they do it more project based.
yes, it sounds more expansive. And this is obviously
Yes.
a belief I'm sure we both got, that we are here to expand.
Hmm.
And that's why I like the idea of the forest school, because you're right, it's a project based, and it's teaching that multidimensional discipline to
Yes.
children. Like you said, not a career coach, but a life coach. They may
Hmm.
employ somebody like me to go in and, and do some sound work with them, or talk. So they're actually, yeah, getting lots of balanced views as well, different types of views,
Yeah.
experiences as well. I think that's why I love, being more in that expansive space. um
So how did you come across the word soulpreneur? What happened?
oh, good question. Very good question.
I'll have
Yeah.
a think about that, get back to you.
Well, yeah, no, it was a while ago. I don't know how I came across it. Maybe through somebody, that I'd seen on Instagram, maybe, and I was like, oh, I like that. But I was developing all around the cosmic soul, and what is a cosmic soul, in the terms of how do we apply this as adults in
Yes.
business.
Yes.
How do we keep well, how do we also provoke the sustainability aspect, of our business? Yeah, and make everything more balanced, and be proud as well. Be proud to be a soul-led business owner, and and talk about it. I did another interview, and the guy said, "We haven't mentioned money once, Natalie." And I said, yeah, because I'm not driven by it. It's
Yeah.
so yeah, talking about these subjects that are kind of been taboo, or that have been dominating, in the work industry for many, many years. I don't know how many, a few hundred, I would suppose. Yeah, so then entrepreneur, and I was like soulpreneur, but I looked it up. It is a thing.
But it
Uh,
is a word.
it is a word. It's out there on the net, and I was also doing a radio show at the time called Cosmic Soul Sessions, and I wanted to bring in soul-led business owners to expand the knowledge, and give other people a voice to talk about their passion, for
But how
work.
do you actually find what you want to do? Because as I said, at the moment, I do feel in a bit of crossroads
It
myself.
finds you.
it finds you. What, you just walk along the beach and there you go. Like one of them films where, well, if you believe, like was it? I forgot his name now. You know that Scottish. What is it with us and names today?
Oh no, I'm
Was
very
it
good.
Billy Connolly or something when he sued God? Do you remember that film where he sued God?
Oh, I
Have you
think
not
I
seen
remember.
it?
No,
I just like, I don't even know if it happened, but I just got this image of, like a light coming down on you and saying, there you go, that's your purpose.
well, kind of, but I think in more of a sensible answer. Um, and as a coach to a coach,
Yeah,
I'm trained as a well-being coach, a teacher, an NLP. I've told you all those what I call the earthly qualifications, and
yeah,
what these do is they help us to delayer, as a professional, but also as a human, and
yeah.
get to the source of our problems, our traumas, and about all of that stuff. And then in my experience, why I say is it will choose you is because you start to trust the unknown more.
Mm-hmm.
And you might sit in a period of no work for a few months. Yes, it's scary. Where's the money going to come from? All those questions that come in. What are people going to think about me? What? But we, in that unknown space, we have then space with our minds, with our body, to actually, get more in contact again with what we truly believe in, what we're truly here for. That's the calling of the soul's purpose. Especially as healers, I suppose, empaths, intuitives, but we're all intuitive. We
Yeah.
all have the ability to use that. It's not segregating that as a role, but especially, yeah, for us healers or people we feel that we're being called to do something different that's not traditional as well. That might resonate with people. That would be another explanation of the soulpreneur. Yeah, and in my circumstance, I wrote the book. I knew I wanted to write a book. It was a goal, it was something
Yeah.
I did really beautifully, actually, as another conversation for another time. And then one day I was like, I'm going to sing again. I haven't sung for such a long time. I haven't used my singing voice. I was vocalizing on the radio show and stuff, but I was like, wow. And I'm going to get a sound bowl. It's a really beautiful crystal healing sound bowl. And in the last 2 months, I've had about 15 soul activation sessions with individuals and groups.
Wow.
So it feels easy. When I go to the bowl, it
That's
fills
why
me with
that's
joy.
what I believe too, that whatever it is, whatever your purpose is, whether even if it is you choose it, because I still think there's an element of you choose it. I think sometimes we could spend all this time, what do I want to do? What do I want to do? And I think sometimes it's just choose what, well, to me, I think choose what feels right. But I think it shouldn't be hard. I mean, it might,
Oh,
as I said, I think action, I mean, you still need to do something, but it's meant to be like something that lights you up, something that makes you feel good. You shouldn't dread going on a call with somebody. Because if you dread,
yes.
okay, you might be nervous. If you're nervous, like, I was a bit nervous coming on here, but, you shouldn't be dreading it. Oh my God,
Yeah, yeah,
if you're
yeah, yeah.
dreading it, that's not the right energy anyway.
No, totally and utterly. And yeah, nervous is I mean, it's a state,
Yeah,
and now I would hope that you're less nervous or
yeah,
actually just really in the flow of it and enjoying it, as I am. I wasn't nervous. I was looking forward to chatting. Like that's the thing as well. Like chat with Nat, I'm
yeah.
good at chatting. I don't like I'm actually ironically, people think I was very sociable, but I'm
Hmm.
not. I'm not I'm an extrovert. I'm
I'm an
definitely
introvert, I am.
yeah. But I think for my energy, I need to have long bouts of periods where I'm not around people.
Yes.
Not
And you
not my
probably
husband.
find, like, if you've not looked in your chart, because if you've got a lot of undefined, right, this is not as I'm not an expert in human design, I'm just saying what I've read, but if you've got a
Yes.
lot of undefined things, that can cause people to influence you more. Whereas if you're defining that area, like for example, this area, if you do,
Yeah.
if you're defined here, you're less likely to. So that's probably as well why you need more time away
Yeah.
from people.
Exactly. I can't remember what we were talking about before how we got to that, but
I know I'm the same. I'm like, what? When I'm on the phone, I sometimes hear back my voice notes, and it's like I've started on one conversation, and by the end, I'm talking about something else.
yeah, well, I'm very good at that. I talk about that also in the book. I love working in circles or loops, and it's kind of, I think a lot of people probably do that. Start one job, then you go to another, and then you finish it. But I think, yeah, I think you're totally right. You have to do what lights you up. There we go. I've got back to the thread. What lights you up?
At least one of us did.
Yeah, what lights you up? And um, you know, there was so much talk, I think, in the last 10, 15 years about authenticity, being
Yes.
your authentic self. Now, a lot of the time now it's gone to soul. What does your soul want? It's gone deeper. We're always going deeper into the layers of exploration as humans, if we're choosing to go on that self-growth
Yeah.
journey. And like you said, I like to go to the bowl and to use my voice in these soul activation sessions. It is so easy, and I'm not even pinching my, it's like yeah, it's easy, it's beautiful. I love it. I
Mm.
can't do it all the time because it takes a lot of my energy. It's
And you
channeling.
do.
So I don't know what's going to happen in these sessions. I was channeling wolf energy the other day. Um,
Wow.
so channeling, like I get to the people's, I get to their soul frequency. So I tune
Right.
in with their soul frequency and I get to their sound of their soul. And the other day with a lady, um, it was really high and her energy was incredible. I was singing for nearly 5 minutes, this sound just out, out, out. And I said to her, look, this is your sound, like obviously to activate people into the belief of who they are again. And this
Mhm.
is
Yeah.
go deeper into the soul purpose. This is to cut through the crap.
Yes, definitely. But for all this 3D stuff.
Yeah, to cut through the sound, like if I crap or the external sound, the noise.
Hmm.
It's been talked a lot by spiritual teachers, the noise, the external noise, the reasons why we fall down rabbit holes, and detract ourselves from actually living the soul's purpose. Because I believe, I don't know about you, Seb, but I believe life is very easy. It's meant to
Hmm.
be very simple. We like as humans to overcomplicate things.
Definitely.
No, my philosophy this year is keep it super simple.
Not simple, stupid. I know that. I've heard that one.
No, I know, no, I know, no, I've changed it. Keep it super simple, or keep it super simple. And I talk about this a lot with my husband because it's, why do we get distracted? Why do we want to overcomplicate, with our well-being, with everything? I don't know what it is. The human design, the not the human design we've been talking about, but
Yeah, the actual.
humans are designed to be distracted, to
It's really
be.
weird, isn't it?
It's very, very, very weird. Yeah, yeah.
Well, I mean, as I said, they just want to. It seems they just want us to all be the same, and we're not.
We're not all the same, as I write. It's beautiful to be out of the ordinary, to be celebrated for who we were born to be. And I think the children that are coming in now, I do a lot of work with Deborah Kilby, who talks about light children, light babies.
She,
Yeah,
she, she was on the.
summit, yeah.
Oh, that makes sense because, like, I know you do similar work, don't you? And I know it's different.
Yeah, it's different, but yeah, it definitely works well together. Yeah, I've worked with some of her groups actually, to help them to connect with their soul babies,
Yeah.
with their babies and the song of their babies, and
Wow.
yeah, because obviously people can be scared of singing, they can be scared of even talking. But so how beautiful to connect through even if it's just a humming sound to the baby, whether it's in the womb or not quite conceived yet. So yeah, that was a really fascinating start to all the sound work that I was doing in October last year. Yeah. We could talk for hours, couldn't we, love?
I think
Yeah.
that's my gift, talking to people for hours. Like,
Yeah. Well, can I tell you one of what I feel one of your gifts is?
go on, yeah.
Make people feel very comfortable.
Oh,
Yeah. And maybe, with the summit, you're like bringing people together. Maybe there's
well, that's
something.
what I thought. I thought like it seemed to be. I'm probably a better, or well, I'm not saying I couldn't coach, but I think just because you can do something doesn't mean it's for you.
I think this is such a valuable um, sharing. Yeah,
Yeah,
so valuable. Many things that we can do.
yeah, exactly. I mean, we could all become builders if we wanted to. I don't want to. That's nothing against any builders, but you know what I mean. We all train our bodies to do, but I say all, not people. You know, some people are disabled, can't. But for me, I could train myself to be a builder, but no.
You don't exactly, but you know that
Yeah,
very, very clearly. But I suppose that's when the parameters get a little bit kind of confused and murky. When you can do something well, you think that it might earn you the money or it'll bring support into the family, the system, but then there's something else that you can do really well as well, and that's, I suppose, where it starts to get a little confusing for us as
I suppose
humans.
we end up with that. How can we? How can I earn money through that? As in,
Yeah, comes back to trust again, doesn't it? I've done a lot of a lot of work on this. I myself was recommended a spiritual teacher called Tosha Silva. I don't know whether you've come across her work. Really incredible. The book's called It's Not Your Money. That was the first time that I worked with a spiritual teacher. It was an online thing.
yeah,
And yeah, kind of changing our perspective on money as well, and knowing that money, money is universal.
yeah.
No, I learned that money always comes to me, a new client always comes, a new opportunity always comes. There was a beautiful affirmation that was shared in one of my groups the other day, and it was something like this: I won't chase, or I'm not here to chase, I'm here to attract.
I've seen that. It's one of the Instagram reels at the moment, isn't it?
Hmm.
I think it's true. I
Yeah.
think I think no, because I know that's more a feminine energy, isn't it? If we're going to talk about energies, it's more a feminine, that sort of attract. But like I've learned a lot about that sort of energy too.
Hmm.
Because with that sort of that female energy, it tends to be we put something out there and we attract people back or things back or whatever we need. It's not
Yeah.
about forcing.
Yeah. Oh, that's given me a little bit of a reason, probably why I also put a stop to the other opportunity I was
Yeah.
talking about. Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Thank you. That was a little bit of
It's
a
okay.
light bulb moment there. Well, yeah, and I mean, I talk a lot about, the masculine and the feminine energy, that we have within all of us. I
Mhm.
was very much masculine energy in my early 20s, drive, drive, drive. But I'm so appreciative of all that I learned from that
Yes.
energy, and now it's mixing in beautifully with the feminine energy. And in actual fact, for me, it is more of a challenge to sit within the feminine, the feminine energy, and like you said, the allowing.
Yeah,
Um,
it's because we're still, well, I'm not getting into politics here, but I'm just saying we're still even in society in that sort of masculine
yeah, no,
role, that chase, chase, chase,
yeah, yeah,
or
yeah,
if
yeah.
you haven't decided what you're doing by the time you're 20, you failed your life. It's like,
Yeah, I know. I remember saying once to somebody, I'm not as far up the ladder as I should be. Oh my goodness,
yeah, I can
all that
imagine.
detrimental language, my belief system was shot to bits then, and I've got such empowering beliefs now about everything. And my life has been incredible. The opportunities that I've attracted, the people I've attracted, and still continue to do. And I suppose my message really is for anyone that's listening to this is you really, going back to that believing in yourself,
Mm-hmm.
is so important and powerful. And as I say in the book, you might initially, when you go into some of this self-help work, you might not like yourself to begin with. There was parts of me that I really didn't like, but you grow to like them, love them, heal them, and gosh, life is so precious, right? So
Yeah.
you need to embrace it and work through the problems that we may hold on to as people. And that helps with the generational healing, helps with societal healing, and then obviously moving more deeper into, the world healing.
Yeah, because I didn't actually know you can carry your parents. You can actually carry your parents' energy, can't you, when you're born? I didn't know that until someone told me.
Yeah, I mean, again, maybe it could be a belief, but I
Yeah,
think, God, I mean, it's fascinating to think, yeah, if the embryo is picking up on energy.
exactly. So it's probably, I don't think it, I mean, I think it can be a belief, but I think it's probably got something in it too.
Yeah, yeah, I'd love to read more about that.
Yeah.
There was a bit of channeled information that came through for me while I was writing the book about this, in the sense that, that when we are, born, exploded into being, and then we become obviously the embryo and stuff. That, yeah, that we have no judgment. We have nothing. We are just that. We're life.
Yes.
We're life
Yeah,
force.
we don't wait. We don't come out and start like, oh, I hate my nails. My nails are awful today. Oh, look at that
Yeah.
bad hair day.
Or I want to be blonde. I want to. We learn. Of course, we learn the
Do you think that anyone
comparison.
ever comes down or anything? Oh my God, why did I do this?
I think I've got a friend who's a bit like, can I not go back yet? I'm a bit done with being a human. He's quite a cool character. He plays the didgeridoo, and he channels through that. It's incredible work. But yeah, he's like, yeah, and he is from Australia, and he's like, yeah, I'm just kind of floating. I want to go back.
So I'm asking this question for me, but also other people. If we are unsure what we want to do, what would you say is the best next step? I know you say it comes to you. What do you do next? Like, I'm in my mind, I'm like, what do I do next?
Is it me? I would always resort to writing a list.
Yes, I've thought that writing and meditation.
Yeah, so write a list of, what you're not liking about two, or yeah, what you're not liking, what you are liking about the role itself. So maybe the coach, and
Yeah,
see whether there's anything that crosses. And then you could have the third list, the sparkly list of all that you want. classic
yes,
classic kind of coaching. And what do you want, and also, asking those kind of questions of on reflection of, what are you proud of, what have you enjoyed about the role, what is still serving you, what's not serving you. So in this list you can get really kind of in depth.
but see,
um
I love things like this where it's literally just a conversation. We're literally chatting. I mean, there's no, I'm the coach, you're the client. It's we're having a conversation.
Well, this is beautiful, because this is the non-linear aspect that's now coming in. It's coming in. This is again the when the female and the masculine energy is totally in balance within the human, whether they be in the masculine or the feminine form or the they form, however
Yeah,
they are who they are born to be. That this non-linear is coming through now. So not the hierarchy, the
yes.
lineage. We sit together, like in old councils, what you see in kind of films, older films, you know.
Yeah, they'd all sit around a campfire just having a conversation. There wouldn't be a leader. It would all be
We are all within that, capable, within our own capabilities of the leadership role. And
yeah.
again, Deborah, I love the way she breaks this word down. Lead her ship.
Mm,
Break the spelling down. lead, so together, as this is her, obviously she works with females, leading her ship, we're all
Yeah.
leading together. And this is definitely, this is definitely, well, 5D, 9D, 13D, whatever.
Wow.
Whatever vibration transmission you're resonating with, and yeah, exactly. And there's so much power in a conversation. And people, yeah, I hope that people enjoy tuning into this.
I'm sure they will. If
Yeah.
not, they're not our ideal clients.
Exactly. And who is our ideal client? And the other thing is for me, like the challenge for my work now is that I know I'm going to be working with females, males, but maybe also couples
Right.
to really heal the dissonance, the discord, the dis-ease between the male and the female.
Wow.
And so I was just writing in the in the light letter, that whoa, this is my work. Like, wow, this is powerful stuff. This is epic.
Wow.
It's to be able to heal people's voices, to give them the power of speech back, to feel confident with their own voice, to set the tone for their voice. It could go on for hours. And I was like, wow, and that's the power of writing. So get to those lists, guys, guys and girls, everybody.
And people in between.
People in between.
No, I'm non-binary, so I'm one of the people in between.
Yeah. So, I like the idea of 3 columns,
Yes.
3 sections, because it goes again to the triad, of the masculine, the feminine energy, and bringing it all together, whether, we're non-binary or whatever form we're in.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I would definitely see if there's any similarities in the list. I love what you said about meditating with the list. Meditate with it. Look at one word even. What does it mean to you? What's your intuition saying about it? Do you need to leave that bit behind? I mean, this, we can get very detailed with this kind of work. Yeah. And trust.
Yes.
Find an affirmation like that one we just mentioned. If you said it's on Instagram right now, if it's obviously what the world needs to hear, what we need to hear as humans. It's the collective message. And rest.
Yes, I don't chase, I attract. That's what it is.
Yeah. And my friend put the word "damn it" after it.
I know, because I think the impatient mind then is, where is it? Why aren't my clients here? Why haven't I figured out it? Or,
And that goes into vibrational misalignment. So when you go into where is it? You're talking about radical manifesting. If you want to become really great at radical manifesting, which I touched upon in the summit talk, is interference.
Yes.
That is interfering with your column of awesome, amazing, attractiveness.
Yes.
Abundance, you need to be in the alignment with it. And that's where the frustration will keep coming, because you just keep hitting the wall because you're not totally.
I know what it means. So in other words, you're like, where is it? And it goes because it's not there. And then you're going back into that. Yeah, so it's that constant loop. It's almost like a loop. That's something I like Abraham teaches about getting off the subjects. I think that's very helpful.
Yeah, Abraham Hicks. Yeah, I mean,
if you're in a frame of mind of where is it, just get away from it. You can always go back to it.
And then it finds you, or a new work opportunity comes in. This is definitely abundance, and the universe, the universal way of showing that.
Yeah.
And that's why rest is really important. A lot of the time for me, it's just going and making another cup of tea if I'm sitting working. I very rarely get frustrated now, though, in my work life, maybe in my personal life a bit. But yeah, we're continuously learning. But yeah, Abraham, the Esther Hicks, really, if no one's kind of delved into that. Yeah, really, really cool. But we've been, I think the other thing is we already know that wisdom. We already have that
Yes.
wisdom. It's called I call it our innate wisdom. It's already within us. But it's having conversations like this or listening to conversations like this that starts to ignite it, starts to, get it activated within inside of us again. And then we believe it. And then when we start believing in it more,
It
then it
grows.
starts manifesting into from the internal into the external. So we become this match of the internal and external. I love it.
Me too.
Yeah,
And I
thank
think
you so much.
something I want to finish on, I think, because otherwise I think we would be on here all day talking. But I think I think it's also about nurturing, isn't it? Like say it's a light. It's about nurturing it, isn't
Mm,
it? I think.
yeah. Yeah, and I suppose what is the it? But nurturing definitely ourselves,
Yeah.
nurturing. My friend kind of laughs at me like I love rituals. I've taught myself rituals. Making a cup of tea is one of them. Walking with the dog is another. Actually being mindful as I'm walking. All these little rituals, they're incredible. And yeah, I suppose, yeah, we just need to look at sometimes nature as well to understand nature to nurture. So
Yeah.
look at nature to understand how we need to nurture ourselves. If you saw a little bird on the floor, like what would you do? How would you nurture that?
Yeah.
Are you respecting yourself enough? It goes back to respect as well. Yeah, and I like the idea of nurturing a business idea, nurturing a
Hmm.
project. I'm thinking incubator period. I feel like I'm going into one of those right now for a
Yeah.
few weeks. I'm just closing down all of my calls so people can book in only once a week to talk with me. I'm going into that period. I've got a little bit of eczema under my eye. This. It's there for a reason. I'm run down. I need to listen.
Yeah.
What's my body telling me to slow down, or
Oh.
something missing in my diet, or before I put the cream on, I want to know. I want to observe it a little bit more. And nurture's so important, so important. Yeah.
Well, thank you, Natalie, for coming on. I've really enjoyed this conversation, and that
Oh,
hour flew by. I think we
wow.
might be just under the hour. I'm not sure. I think we're just under, but still, it flew by, however long it was.
And that's because we've been in flow.
Yes,
So
I'm
we've been
gonna.
in
I'm gonna.
flow,
I'm
passionate
gonna.
about what we're talking about, joyful. We've been immersed in flow. So thank you so much.
Thank you. I'm gonna stop recording now.
Mhm.